Okay. Okay, let me start now. Okay. So you all can. I'm trying to. Today I'm learning by this computer. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to use this computer. Okay. All right. Okay. So basically, when you want to learn dependent origination, you need to start from this chart. This chart look very complicated because it has how many? 10 things in a chart combined. But this chart is a standard chart used in the Mogok Meditation Center. Why is used there? Because Mogok Meditation Center is a center that purposely study the dependent origination, where other center will study like Vipassana or like Pa'ao on a Samatha, but this is the only one. Because the main reason why they need to study on this dependent origination, because they tell people that our main problem in the world is because of moha, because of delusion. So if you want to progress faster in meditation, you need to find a method to reduce your ignorance, reduce your defilements. Then your meditation progress will be very smooth. So if you are going to meditate with so much defilements, with so much misunderstanding about the Dhamma, then you cannot progress faster. Your progress will be slow. Okay. So we are going to do this. So I think you all have seen this chart before. So I will go slowly because it's not something that you can finish in one day, definitely. Okay. But anytime you are most welcome if you want to ask questions, all right? So I request you all to join me in reading. First, you all don't get sleepy. And then it saves my voice, you know. If I have to talk continuous for 1 hour, it's very tiring for me. Okay. So this is a topic today, meditation on dependent origination by me. And then this is the first Dhamma talk. And we see if you're interested, we can continue next week. If you feel tired, we can just skip it for another one week, right? So this chart, as I showed before, it has the Pali, and I will write down in the English, okay? Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to learn how to control this computer. Okay, now. Okay, so I most welcome you all if you follow me in reading, okay? So it's good to learn the Pali and recite the Pali as well. So let me go to this. Okay. All right. So let us start. Okay. So let's start with this chanting. So everybody, if possible, please join me. Okay. All right. So can you all join me in reading?
Anuloma.
Yeah. Anuloma. Okay. So avijja paccaya sankhara. Please join me. Okay. Avijja paccaya sankhara. Sankhara paccaya vijnanam. Vijnana paccaya nama lupam. Nama lupam paccaya salayatanam. Salayatanam paccaya phaso. Phassa paccaya vedana. Vedana paccaya tanha. Tanha paccaya upadana. Upadana paccaya bhavo. Bhava paccaya jati. Jati paccaya jara maranam. Soka parideva. Dukkha domanasa supayasa samavati. Ewa metasa kevalasa dukkha kanasa samaya hoti. Ayang uchati bhikawe patiha samupado. Okay, so we recite this one. Dependent on ignorance, formation arise. So please join me in reading. dependent on
Dependent on
formations,
ignorance,
consciousness arises,
dependent
dependent on
on
consciousness,
consciousness,
mind matter
arise,
arise, dependent on mind
on mind
matter,
matter,
six
six
sense bases
sense
arise,
bases arise,
depend on six
depend
sense
on six
bases,
sense bases,
contact arises,
contact arises,
dependent on contact,
contact
feeling
feeling
arises,
arises,
dependent on
dependent on
feeling,
feeling,
craving
craving
arises,
arises,
dependent on
dependent on
craving,
craving,
clinging arises,
clinging arises,
dependent on clinging,
clinging,
existence arises,
existence arises,
dependent on existence,
existence,
birth arises,
arises,
dependent on birth,
dependent on birth,
aging,
aging,
death,
sorrow,
sorrow, lamentation,
lamentation,
pain, grief,
grief,
despair
despair
arise.
arise.
Okay, then we read that down there. In this way,
This way,
there is the cause origin for the entire mass of
Mass of
suffering.
suffering.
This is
This
state
is
bunks
bunks
dependent
dependent
origination.
origination.
Okay, let's read the Patiloma in reverse. This is talking about cessation. Okay, so we read from here. Awijaya tewa asesa viraga niroda sankara nirodo sankara niroda vijnana nirodo vijnana niroda nama lupa nirodo nama lupa niroda salayatana nirodo salayatana niroda pasa nirodo pasa niroda vedana nirodo vedana niroda tanha nirodo tanha niroda upadana nirodo upadana niroda bhava nirodo bhava niroda jati nirodo jati niroda jara marana soka parideva dukkha domana supayasa nirujanti eva mitasa kevalasa dukkha kandasa nirodo hoti. So we read the English. With the entire dispassion and cessation of ignorance, formation cease. With the cessation of formation, consciousness ceases. With the cessation of consciousness, mind matter cease. With the cessation of mind matter, six sense bases cease. With the cessation of six sense bases, contact ceases. With the cessation of contact, feeling ceases. With the cessation of feeling, craving ceases. With the cessation of craving, clinging ceases. With the cessation of clinging, existence ceases. With the cessation of
old age, death,
death,
sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair cease.
Okay, then this one.
In
In
such a
such a
way,
way is the
is the
cessation of the entire mass
mass
of
of suffering.
Okay, so this is the traditional text that you all know. I think most of the temple also recite them. Okay, so this is the one that you see in the, all these are 12 factors you see already, like avijja pacha sankhara, sankhara pachaya vijnana, all this, you follow, go one round. Okay, so when we are talking about the first one, the first chanting is, we call it the anuloma. Anu is follow in Pali, okay, loma. So it's like in forward order. And then samudaya, it calls samudaya. Samudaya is a cause or arising or how things arise. So it starts with avijja, right? So it's avijja pacha sankhara. So avijja is ignorance and sankhara is formation. So in Pali, I think most of you are my Pali student. You see the long A here, right? So long A here is actually well, either instrumental or ablative. But here is talk is in a talking about reason or the cause, or we can translate because pachaya, because avijja is the cause, or because depending on avijja, then sankhara, there is a formation. Okay, and therefore the continue. So by this kind of thing, when you study, you will notice that there sometimes is a either with the M dot without M dot. So you can see which is the neuter case and which is the like this is a masculine case and it is a feminine case and so on. All right. So anyway, this is not Pali class. So by here we will see the 12 dependent origination, the 12 factors here. So when you start to what you want to learn dependent origination, you just have to memorize this by heart. Okay. After memorize this by heart, then the next thing is that you need to memorize the Patiloma also. Okay, forward and backward. So you need to memorize these two by heart. So actually, you notice the whole sentence. This the last one is actually very important. This is the entire Kewala, Dukkha Khanda. Khanda is talking about 5 aggregates. Samudaya, the cause or the arising of these 5 aggregate or entire mass of suffering. So this is talking about the cause of 5 aggregates. So this is said as dependent origination, paticca samuppada. And then when the cessation is talking about this is cessation of entire mass of suffering, right? So after you memorize these two, you need to memorize by heart if you really want to learn dependent origination, because most of the sutta, it actually have this chanting. Okay. So after that, then you need to go through the definition of dependent origination. Okay, yeah. So brother, on your side is having some noise, so you can mute yourself. Yeah. All right. So dependent on the dependent origination, paticca samuppada. Right. So actually, when we study the Pali, it's easier if you just remember the meaning paticca samuppada. So it's very difficult if you're going to remember the English because there are different translations. Sometimes they call it dependent origination, sometimes they call it dependent arising. There are many different translations. So the best is just remember the Pali word paticca samuppada. So here there's some Pali explanation. Paticca is a gerund of pachetic, pati. So the meaning of paticca means is a reason, on account of, because of, or concerning. And then the samuppada, you have the prefix ud and then pat. Like samuppada just arising, right? So this is just some brief explanation. So I will not go in detail because this is not Pali class. So after you remember the 12, then you have to go to all these factors. And all these factors, or all these 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 12, 20. When you see all these, where you can find this, okay? Where you can find all these things, you can find all these things in this round and round and round. So why this chart looks so complicated? Because it includes all these 2 roots, 2 truths, 3 links, 3 times, 3 rounds, 4 sections, 12 factors, and 20 factors. So how many things it has? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in this chart, you'll find all these 8 things here. So this is a complicated chart. And really in a meditation center called Mogok, 10 days retreat, people just study this chart. The teacher will explain from the beginning how things go around, how do you stop, and so on. Right? So from this is the 8 points here, and I need to go very slow here because dependent origination is not that something that you can memorize or just understand by one day. All right. So as said just now, there are 12 factors we call Anga in Paticca Samuppada. So you need to memorize them. If you can remember the chanting just now, so then it's not difficult for you to remember the 12 points. So the chanting like avijja, pachaya sankhara, sankhara pachaya vijnana, vijnana pachaya nama rupa, nama rupa pachaya salayatana, salayatana pachaya paso, paso pachaya vedana, vedana pachaya tanna, tanna pachaya upadana, upadana pachaya bhavo, bhava pachaya jati. So if you can remember the chanting, so it's easy. So, okay, first one is avijja, ignorance. Second one is sankara, formation. Sankara has actually many different translations. Sometimes in other times, sometimes they call it conditioned things, but here we just keep the usage formation. Vijnana is consciousness, like chitta is also consciousness. Our the notes is given and then with detail later, so we just go through. Nama rupa, nama is mind, rupa is the matter. Sometimes we have different translation. We call it the mentality, materiality. All right. So there are some optional translation. Salayatana, sar or chak is 6. Ayatana is a base. So they're talking about a 6 sense basis. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Phasa is content. Vedana is feeling. Tanha or tanna. Myanmar people, they pronounce it as a tanna. With a H sound, it's just a puffing, craving. Upadana is clinging. Bhava is a becoming. So bhava has different translation. So we keep it becoming. Sometimes we have the different one, like last time they also use the word existence. But now I think standard one is a becoming. Jati is birth. And jati is same with upapati bhava. You will see this in the charts also. All right. So sometimes according to the format, those not in English have to put in italic. All right. So jati, pachaya, jara, marana. Jara, OH, marana, death. Soka, right? So jati, jara, marana is together. So because in the chanting will be jara, marana, then followed by soka, paridewa, dukkha, domanasa, supayasa, samavati. So jara, OH, marana, death, soka, sorrow, paridewa, lamentation. Lamentation here is in the sense of crying out. Dukkha is much more to do with physical suffering. Domanasa is you can see the Pali word do. From the word do is a bad. Mana is a mind. So something, a bad mind means mental pain. Upayasa is despair. Okay. Now, avijja, ignorance. Okay. So avijja is coming from 2 words. Avijja, not vijja. I think I hope you also see. Not vijja, not become up. Okay, vijja. Vijja is a wisdom or can see, knowing. So not vijja means not knowledge, no knowledge. Not knowledge of things as they really are. So this is standard in Pali, we call it yada buddha. So means that what is really are? Really are means talking about like impermanence, suffering, non-self, and so on. So that's the meaning of really are. So when we talk about avijja, we need to describe together with moha because these two are synonyms, right? So they really can say come together. Okay. So what is the difference between the avijja and moha? Moha has confusion. So the meaning of moha sometimes means confusion. So it means that it see in the opposite way. So what does it see? For example, things are really, you all know this one. Things are really impermanent. So yeah, okay. So yeah, this will be impermanent. Okay. Things are impermanent, anicca, dukkha, anatta. Okay. And then the asubha. Right? But the moha see things in a wrong way. So see things as nicca, sukha, atta, and subha. So this means that moha see things in the opposite way, where avijja see things without knowledge. Right? And here also avijja means not knowing the 8 things. This one you can find in all the sutta. It already mentioned 8 things. 4 Noble Truth, past aggregates, future aggregates. But aggregates talking about our five khanda, our aggregates, five aggregates, past and future aggregates, and also dependent origination. So that's why it's very important for you all to know dependent origination, because avijja cover out, so we cannot see the dependent origination. Okay, so this is the difference between avijja and moha, right? So avijja means not seeing things, not knowing things, where moha is just see things in a wrong way, right? So maybe you can say moha confused, okay? You can say moha confused, being seeing things in wrong way, okay? For example, regarding the impermanence, suffering, non-self, non-beautiful. So you see it as permanent, happiness, self, and beautiful, right? So by knowing this, you can see the difference between avijja and moha. Okay, so this is the first factor. So I now need to show you the chart again, because we are need to study this chart in detail according to the tradition here. So we need to go through. So you can see here avijja, ignorance, is also the main one. So avijja and tanha, avijja and ignorance and craving. This is actually, they call it the wheel of life, or how the rebirth, how the samsara take place. So you can see it go round and round and round. The main thing is because of the support in the middle. It's like the wheel, where the middle is called the hub. The hub is very important. So the avijja, ignorance and craving, they really give support to this wheel. You can see the word avijja here, ignorance, and then this is the avijja also. So this is the first factor, avijja. Then the English, I put the English translation here, because I'm afraid if I don't put the English, you all might not see the translation. Okay, so avijja is the English translation for ignorance. So this is the first factor. I just start with the first factor here. So this factor number one, sankhara factor number, sorry, this is the one, avijja, right? So this is another one also. So ignorance, we are talking about the first factor here. And now we go to the second factor, sankhara or formation. So this is a serious Dhamma talk, because I need to go slow. So you will not be able to finish, even I will not be able to finish the whole 17 pages today. All right. So sankhara formation. There are three types. This is also according to Abhidhamma or Susanta discourse. Kaya sankhara, bodily formation, vachi sankhara, verbal formation, and mano sankhara, mental formation. One can do good or bad sankhara. So bad sankhara is doing the 10 evil deeds. Bad kaya sankhara is killing. You all know this is to do with 5 precepts: killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. This is 5 precepts, the first 3. Bad vachik sankhara is telling lies, harsh speech, slandering, and gossip. Bad mano sankhara is covetousness, ill will, and wrong will. All right. So I think you all can join me in reading, because this is easy for you all. Okay, so anybody, you all can join me in reading now. Okay, 10 good or meritorious actions are: number 1, dana, generosity, to give generously and share what we have. This promotes generosity in the heart. So this is the first good one. So remember, we're still at the topic of sankhara, mental formation, body formation, and verbal formation. So these 10 good deeds give good sankhara. So sila, observe precept and do not harm others, like action of killing and stealing. Bhavana, meditation, right? So now you know the Pali word for meditation is called bhavana, like samatha bhavana, vipassana bhavana. So this is the Pali word from the action bhavati, all right? So mental development, sometimes we use the word mental cultivation through samatha and vipassana. So it brings peace. With samatha practice, you get peace. With vipassana, you get wisdom to oneself. So number 4, apachara, with reverence. Show respect to elders, parents, teacher, monastery, and all those important or senior role. It creates harmony in society. Number 5, Vayavacha service. Provide service assistance to others to do good deeds. So now another 6 is patidana, sharing, transfer, sharing, giving. Sometimes they call it transference of merit. Actually, even when we like you all use the word transference of merit. So actually the word transference, when we look at the Pali, it just the meaning is called dana, all right? Dana is a giving, right? Pati is a merit. So no matter you use the word English transference or sharing, whatever, the actual meaning in Pali is just dana. So it's really giving or sharing your merits to others. So what we have, we share with the departed one. And now we have another one, patanumodana. So this one and the earlier one is different. This is anumodana. So anumodana is called rejoicing with the Pali root mud MUD, all right? So rejoicing on others' merit. So even though we use the word other merit, sometimes it's also possible for you to rejoice on your own good deeds. Because when you rejoice on your own good deeds, your mind is bright and has more wholesome type of mind, right? So, but normally patanumodana is rejoicing on others' merit, right? So this we encourage them to do good deeds. Dhamma savana, hearing the doctrine. So this including like hearing, reading, studying the text, Dhamma. Dhamma Desana, expounding the doctrine, all right? The teaching of the Dhamma through writing. Okay, so you teach others or you share your Dhamma with others. So Ditiju Kama, strengthening one right view, all right? So all these are 10 good deeds, and these 10 good deeds will give Sankara, all right? So Sankara is formation. So 10 good deeds give good Sankara. So if people are doing the 10 bad or demeritorious deed, will give bad Sankara. So at this portion, you can see how we create karma here. So ignorance, it can be coming from the past life or even carry to this life. But this is not active. The one active here is this one. Like just now I said, the 10 wholesome deeds we do, or 10 bad deeds we do. So this is create karma here. So that's why you can see the link here. All right, you can see the link here. Just now the avijja is to do with the defilements. So you can see the link to the kilesa. Kilesa is defilements. So this chart is very interesting. You can see how the links go around here. So the link between this one, link to the defilement, kilesa, and then the sankara, link to the karma, where sankara is we do the good or bad action. So this is linked to the karma vata. Karma vata is a karma round, which I will describe later. Okay. So this is a good, and then we come to number 3, vijnana. So here, avijja and sankara. These two are normally they put at the past period, past life. Here, start from here, consciousness. It actually put at the present period. So you can see the period here is different. This is past, and this is the present, and this present, and this is the future. Okay, so we already finished the past here, so we come to the present time, consciousness. All right. So consciousness is a resultant consciousness caused by Sankara. Why is the meaning caused by Sankara? All right. So Sankara is the cause and then it create the result here. So Sankara is the cause, this is the result. So normally the consciousness can be divided into two types. So the first one that always we see in the chart is the rebirth linking consciousness, because it's the first consciousness take place in our life, and that's why I call it rebirth linking consciousness. In those who study Pali, you know it's called Patisandiccitta. So this is when the dependent origination is explained at three types: past, present, and future. So here, this consciousness, if we are going to see this consciousness as linking to these three periods, because the Sankara is belong to past, all right, past, like past life. So that's why consciousness which belong to present life, the consciousness is meant to be the first consciousness. The first consciousness is of course the rebirth linking consciousness. That is when we are talking about the three life. This is the past life, this is the present life, and this is the future life. But if we are going to talk about Vijnana consciousness as a normal consciousness appear in our life, all right? So we are talking about dependent origination can be explained as happening moment to moment in this present life, only in this life, okay? Only in this present life. And then you also got mind matter consciousness also happen when there are suitable conditions like the eye consciousness, ear consciousness, and so on. All right. So they arise when the sense-based and sense object come to contact. So, okay. So what is the consciousness that can happen in this life? There are many consciousness. Okay. So if we are talking about this consciousness appear only in the present life, so this we're talking about six sense-based, the six sense consciousness, and so on.
The six consciousness.
Yeah, six consciousness. And besides the six consciousness, other type of consciousness also there, because we have 89 consciousness. So there are many possible consciousness that can arise in the present life. But here is people always confused, because when you see it's like belong to past life, present life, or future life. But we also can take it as this consciousness refer to only one period. All right. So this is the things that, or we are talking about, or only present. Okay. So this is talking about in terms of three life. S or S? S or no? Cannot remember. Right.
Terms.
S with the S?
Yeah.
Okay.
In terms.
Okay. So these are two possibility, three lives or present life. So some of the, I think one of the famous monk called Buddhadasa. You can look at him. He talked about the dependent origination as occur in single life. Okay, single life, that means that is the present life, right? So he write a book about this topic also. So if you're interested, you can look at his book to understand his idea, how he see the dependent origination. Okay, so he's talking about here. But if we just take it as the consciousness to do with the tree life, and this consciousness is the rebirth linking consciousness, then it's very easy for us to remember the next one. Because due to the rebirth linking consciousness, then the mind and matter arise. This is very easy. Because after you have the first rebirth linking consciousness, then the mind and matter, which form a being, start to come to be. Right. So this is number 4 already. This 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're on this. This is the Pali Nama Rupa. So this is the English translation, mind and matter. So a being, a sentient being, a human, an animal, or anything, normally we have a considered as belong to this nama rupa, which we translate as a mind, matter, mentality, or materiality. That is if you have 5 aggregates. But there are some beings like mindless being, if you study the 31 planes of existence, they only have the body. So they have rupa. So instead of nama rupa, they only got the rupa only. Or some of the beings, the arupa being, they have no body, they only got the mind. So we call it, they have only nama. So this nama rupa is actually, we call it general as a for all beings, but specific case, there will be nama rupa or rupa or nama only. So if you study the Abhidhamma, you be able to understand the different types of beings in the 31 plane of existence. So even though the consciousness, that means that the vijnana, right? The consciousness, I use the Pali words because sometimes English is very difficult. There are different types of English translation. So actually, when we have nama, what is nama? Nama is a, okay, nama have a we have 4 aggregates, right? But actually, even though the vijnana we mentioned just now arise earlier, but actually nama have 4. So it has feeling, vedana, perception, sanya, and then the mental formation, sankhara, and then the consciousness. These 4 of the nama arise together. But the thing is that the consciousness is taken as the cause, and nama is taken as the result. Okay. So that's how we can see the different things. So here, nama, rupa, and vijnana. Vijnana is the cause here because it is the most important as a labor linking. Because of the labor linking, there is a mind and matter. So this is the cause and this is the result. So when you study this dependent origination, everything will be cause and effect. So avijja is the cause, sankhara is the result. Then sankhara formation is the cause, vijnana is the result. Vijnana consciousness is the cause, nama rupa, mind matter is the result. So here, this is the cause and this is the result. But even though this just in terms of theory, but actually mind matter, the mind here is it have 4 aggregates. One of the aggregate is the consciousness. So mind and this consciousness actually they arise together. But in terms of dependent origination, consciousness is the cause, mind is the effect. Okay, so up to now, we can stop for a while. So anybody you want to ask about something, you can ask now. Okay. So any question?
Dear, under the first factor, avijja,
Okay.
just now your notes there that
Mhm.
is talking about knowing about 8 things.
Okay, yes.
How do we get the 8 things?
Okay. Right. 4 noble truth, already 4. Okay. Past aggregate 1, 5. This 6, 7. Dependent origination 8. Can you see?
Okay, okay.
Okay, right. Okay. Well, of course, past aggregate, future aggregate, of course, they're separate. Past and future aggregate look like quite same thing. But dependent origination is separate, definitely. Yeah.
Why do they repeat past and future aggregate again?
Yeah. Because, yeah, it's a good question here. Well, this is separate. Some people, they don't know about past aggregate. Some people don't know about future aggregate, but most being past and future, they don't know. you can see, of course, they have the avijja. It's not possible for them to know the past and future. I don't know, because of due to the avijja. Okay. All right. Yes, Brother Ko.
Yes, but very good. This just now you were talking about the Patisandi
All right. Yes.
is the cause, then the Namarupa is the effect.
Okay.
Because if we use Vijnana as the cause, then Namarupa as the effect,
Yes.
it seems that there is a lot of difficulties to what you call
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right.
correlate. But if you, since we are talking about three lives, then if
Mm.
you use it as a Patisandi, because that is a specific consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
rebirth linking consciousness, then
Yes.
the result is the Namarupa. Then
Right.
maybe that would be easier to
Yes. Yes. Yes.
understand. I think.
Right. Right. Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's
So if
only-
you are talking about three life, it's easy to understand. But we also can consider dependent origination as happen in this life. Because
Okay, life.
because like now, okay, now you know when you have avijja, you do something, you do some foolish thing, right? Yeah. So you have craving, you have a diluted mind, you will have anger. So you can see the dependent origination with start with the avijja happens moment to moment also.
Yeah, but does the Namarupa refers to, that means like the Chitaja, Kamaja, Utuja, and Aharaja, is it? Does that mean?
It refers to everything. Yeah. All the normal lupa, your body. Normal lupa just means your body. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it's a good question. Okay. If no question, we continue. All right. So you can read Thai monk. He wrote a book regarding the Abhidhamma as occurring in this. Yeah. His book is actually very interesting to read. So you can read how he explain about how this dependent origination happened in this life.
So Saidi, you have the title?
I think the title is just dependent origination. Yeah. So it's very
Okay.
easy to do a search on that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Now, so if we are talking about dependent origination occurs in three lives, so it's very easy to understand. So you have the avijja, then followed by some action karma. Then there will be patisandi, the first rebirth linking consciousness. Then there will be a being start to form with the mind matter. Then when the like human in the mother womb, then the sixth sense base start to develop one by one. Of course, the first one, they will have the body. By the eye and then the ear, they will come later. So start from the mind matter, you have the sixth sense bases. So mind matter is the cause, sixth sense basis is the result. So here you have the chak becomes sa, okay? Sa means sar. Sar chak means six. Ayatana is base. So a being has five physical sense though, or base here. There's eye, ear, nose, tongue, body. And you also got the mind though, or mind base. Why we call it door? Sometimes we use the terms door because it is for the object to come in, right? For example, like for example, we call it the eye ear door. Sorry, eye door or eye base. The object will be visible sound, okay, visible object. Visual object, normally when we see something, you will see like the shape, the color, all right? So that's why we normally see things. So it's like for the object to come in. That's why the sense door, we call it sense door or sense space. Sense space actually is the location where the sense consciousness arises. So if we have the sixth sense door, sixth sense bay, we also got the sixth sense consciousness like eye, ear, nose, tongue, body consciousness. Okay, now, so when you have this one, so you see. So avijja pacha sankhara, sankhara pacha vijnana, vijnana pacha nama rupa. You can see the Pali here. Nama rupa pachaya salayatanam. Salayatan pachaya passo. Passo is the contact. Then pasa pachaya vedana. With the contact, you got the feeling. Now, this contact is it's not something easy to understand because you cannot see it. Like this mind matter, you can see it, right? Mind matter, you can see it. Sixth sense base, you can see your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, you can see it. But contact, you cannot see. So an object and sense base come to contact, all right? So due to the object and sense base, the sense consciousness arise. Here, contact is a mental phenomenon. That's why you cannot see. You know something contact, like when you hear the sound, you know that your mind hear it. You know the sound like it's like striking on your ear. But according to the Pali, actually, it's not just one thing. It is something that come out from the meeting of these three. That is the object, sense base, and sense consciousness. Because you can see the Pali here, all right? Chakum cha, paticha, rupa cha, upajati, chaku vinyanam, tinam sakati passo. Sotancha paticha sadecha upajati sota vinyanam tina sangati paso chaku. So with the eye, dependent on the eye, so there are no translation. All right, okay. So dependent on chaku, on the eye and visible object, chaku vinyana. So eye consciousness arise, okay, chaku vinyana. So the contact of these three is actually the meeting, okay, the meeting of these three is the contact, okay. All right, the contact is the meeting, maybe just translate this, okay. The contact is the meeting of these three. So that's the Pali. So Tinam Sakati. Sakati is a meeting. Tinam is these three. Passo. So actually when we're talking about this Passa contact is the meeting of these three. No? So it's something that you cannot see, but you know contact. Why? So there will be eye contact, ear contact, nose contact, tongue contact, body contact, mind contact, right? So mind contact is a passa, contact, commitments, and then with mundane result consistent. Already some abhidhamma here. So contact is something that, especially when the object and then say space. So we hear it, right? You hear the sound, you know it because the contact is there. When you see something, you know it because the contact is there. So contact only can come when you have the mind matter and you have the sixth sense basis, then there will be contact with the object. So contact here, it can only happen when you have the consciousness, you have the mind matter, when you have the sixth sense basis, then there will be contact, right? So all these considered as a present period. It happened in the present time. Here, avijja and sankhara. ignorance and then formation is considered as belong to past period. So after the contact, there will be feeling. Right? So after the contact, the feeling arises. So normally the feeling can be divided into good feeling, a bad feeling, and neutral feeling. So good feeling comes when the object is perceived as good and present. So it's actually when we say the five aggregate, this perceived is means that our perception, sanya. Sanya is very important in how we see things as good and bad. Because when you have good sanya, you perceive something as a good and present, then you got good feeling. So when you have when you see the object as bad or unpleasant, then you have a bad, unpleasant feeling. So when the object is not perceived as as pleasant or unpleasant, then the neutral feeling will arise. So normally we have three feelings. But sometimes they will say we have the five types of feeling also, because when you break down in terms of mind, in terms of body, there are five feelings. But normally the feeling is generally, we can say belong to three feelings. So after the feeling comes, then there will be craving. So after feeling, then it will come to this side, craving, clinging, kama bhava. So this is considered as dukkha satya. I will explain dukkha satya later. So this already finished. All these are present period. Now we still go, next one when we go to craving, we still on the present period. But here is already different separate category. This is one category and this is another section. Today I just going to finish the dependent originate, the 12 factors on it. Craving. Tanha. So when there's a present feeling, it can cause craving. So when there's unpleasant feeling, craving can arise because we want unpleasant feeling to disappear and present feeling to come. So this means that present feeling, craving also come. When there's unpleasant feeling, craving also can come. Because we just don't want the unpleasant feeling. We just want the present feeling to come. Even the neutral feeling. So we are talking about three types of feeling here. Okay. Normally there are three types. So we are talking about these three types of feeling here. Even like neutral feeling, it has a peaceful nature. So even our mind crave for the neutral feeling. So the craving is caused by any feeling. So because we have the sixth sense door, sixth sense basis earlier on. So normally we call it, there are six types of craving based on the sixth sense doors. But there's another category, right? So if you learn the Four Noble Truths, there will be like Kama Tanha, Bhava Tanha, Vibhava Tanha. Craving for sensual pleasure, sensual object, craving for existence, or craving for non-existence. So this is another separate category. But normally when feeling come, then the craving, tanha. You can see the Pali word here, craving will come. So you can notice that this craving is linked to this avijja. Because avijja is the klesa. Klesa means defilement. All right. So this link with the defilement. So avijja is a defilement, klesa is defilement. Craving also defilement. So you can see the link here. Clinging also, okay. So craving, clinging. Yeah. And then the sankala is linked to this one, linked to the kama bhava. The topic. Right. So you have the craving. So when the craving comes, you will go clinging, all right? So because craving actually is a weak craving. Clinging is a strong one. Clinging, the Pali call it upadana. Upadana. So for those who learn Pali, dana is a gift. With the a means take. So upa means take strongly. So take strongly means clinging. So clinging is actually a strong form of craving. So we have 4 types of clinging, which are kama upadana, craving to sense object, false view, ditthuppadana, and then clinging to wrongful practice or ritual, silabatupadana, and then self-illusion clinging, atta, clinging to the idea of atta. So among these, this one, I think the cling to self is very difficult to remove, because if somebody can remove this one, he already reached the first stage of enlightenment. So this is called upadana. So upadana is linked with the craving. So upadana actually is a strong form of craving. So that's why, okay, you can see here, this line, when you see here, is to do with kilesa. Kilesa means defilement. So avijja is a defilement. So this is also linked with the defilement. So craving is defilement also. Upadana is also defilement. So these two are linked with the goal here. All right, we go in this way. So that's how we study the charts here. All right, so stop for a while. Any question?
Sayaji,
Yes.
because sometimes how to say, when you hear something or you see something,
Okay.
because there is the consciousness is there. So
Mhm.
sometimes you may find yourself that people say, you know, they heard something, but you didn't hear it. Is that because the consciousness doesn't arise? That's why we miss the object or the sound or the smell.
It depends on how important is the sound, you know. For example, if all people hear it, you don't hear it because it's the avijja cover up, you know. But sometimes the sound is a very like background sound where the bird sound we hear all the time, so we don't really purposely hear it. So it's not avijja anymore. It's just like the mind just ignore it because there are too much things coming to our sense door, you know. Because the object is coming all the time. We cannot stop the object. No matter you are in the most peaceful place, you are in the cave, there will be certain some sound. But the difference is the quality of the object. Okay.
So when we say we didn't pay attention,
Right.
that means, does it got to do with consciousness?
If you didn't pay attention means that your mindfulness is not there, or you don't really purposely pay attention. The consciousness is there all the time, you know, this consciousness arising all the time. As long as when you got the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, the consciousness arise all the time. It's only whether you choose to pay attention to it or you not pay attention. So that's why in Vipassana practice, we are talking about when you hear the sound, you just not hearing. Why you're not like this? It's because you're trying to see the real truth is a impermanent suffering and non-self. Okay. All right, can you follow me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, next question. Yes, Brother Ko.
Sorry, just now you was talking about Vedana. There's 3 Vedana, 3 feelings.
Okay, yes.
So if it's unpleasant feeling, it should be leading to aversion.
Right, yes.
But why is it that they somehow link to the
Craving.
craving?
Yeah, because
it's a subsequent,
Right,
but
right.
it's not it's not
Yes.
direct, but it's a subsequent effect.
Right.
To it.
because everything has avijja, you know. Everything has avijja. You can see even the feeling, whether good or bad feeling, the starting point is still avijja, right? So when people have bad feeling, they don't like it. Why? Because they cannot see the impermanence, right?
Yes.
And when there's avijja, there will be craving, there will be hatred, you know, all these are one bundle of things. All right. So
Yes.
for example, when your neighbor open the loudspeaker very loud, you don't like it, right?
Yeah.
Well, why? Because you want the quietness, right?
Yes.
So when there's aversion, at the back of aversion, there will be craving. But actually, the main thing is still due to craving. You want the peace, because when you want the peace and quietness, then when people turn on the music very loud, you get angry because the attachment to peace and quietness is there in the first place already. It's very simple. You cannot get what you want, so you get angry, right?
Yeah, but because if we are talking about dependent origination, is a direct cause
Yeah.
and effect.
Yes, it's not direct. That's why dependent origination is very
The
subtle.
direct cause
It's not direct cause and effect. Okay, for example, good feeling lead to a craving. All right, good feeling lead to craving. Bad feeling also lead to craving. Why? Because the result, you can see the cause is all the way to the ignorance. So dependent origination, sometimes we talk about direct cause, is also involved indirect cause, which you cannot see. There are many things going on in our mind, you know. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Here,
you.
feeling lead to craving is direct. You can see direct, but craving comes because of the ignorance. It linked to the very starting point. That's why avijja is the main one, is the root. Okay, these two, avijja and tanna, is the root here. It's the main cause. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So if no question, I will finish the 12 factors by today. All right. So this is a series of talks. So either you want to wait 1 month one time or see. Okay. Now, so you have the clinging, all right? Here, craving and clinging come together because clinging is actual form of craving. So I already explained just now. Now, bhava. Craving, tanna pachaya upadana. Upadana pachaya, this kama bhava. Kama bhava is, in Pali, we call it kama bhava. In English, we also keep it because it's difficult to translate to English, right? So after kama bhava, there will be birth, aging, and death. Becoming. So there are two types of bhava, becoming or existence. One is kama bhava and upapati bhava. So you can see the kama bhava here. So here, if you notice, the diagram, this is a red color here, is a complete circle here. But here is only half. Okay, you can see it's actually half. It's not linked totally here. There's a blackish here. Because this kama bhava is actually linked with this upapati bhava. You can see the bhava is belong to, actually have two. One is kama bhava, another is called upapati bhava. So upapati bhava is same with the jati. So that's why one is here, another one is here. So there are two types of bhava. One is the kama bhava and upapati bhava. So bhava, this I get from the Usilananda book, Usilananda. Bhava is something that causes some other things to be. So kama bhava means chetana, intention, and its concomitants. Upapati bhava means resultant aggregates, 5 aggregates, which is the result, and rupa, born of karma. So upapati bhava is same with jati, rebirth in a new existence. So not sankala and past is same with kama bhava in the present. All right. Here, this jati is same with this upapati bhava. This is just a Pali, but actually that means the birth of the 5 aggregates. And kama bhava is actually in present period. So this in present time. But it actually, when you see the link, it actually link with this sankala. Sankala is considered as past period. So sankala is a karma, is action here. All right. Karma bhava is also an action. That's why we have the word karma. But this karma bhava is caused the new birth here. This is a little bit technical. I think you all might not be able to understand here. It takes some time to understand what I'm trying to talk about this karma bhava. So upapati bhava is a bhava essence that is nama rupa caused by karma. So after you have the bhava you have the Jati, then you got Jara Marana. Jara is the aging, Marana. Besides Jara Marana, you also got the Soka, Paridewa, Dukkha, Domanassa, Upayasa. Old age, death, sorrow, lamentation, physical suffering, mental suffering, and despair. Old age and death are definitely happen in this life, right? But there are some beings like Brahma. They do not have sorrow, lamentation, suffering, mental pain, and despair. So that's why we call it this Jara Marana is certainly happen in most of the beings. But this Soka, Paridewa, all these are we call optional because like higher beings like Brahma, God, which they are practicing meditation, they do not have so much sensual desire. They don't have sensual desire at all. So they don't have this sorrow, lamentation, suffering, and so on. Right? So only Jara Marana is, can say, quite definitely. Then followed by the end of this segment, Ewa Metasa, Kewalasa, Dukkha, Khandasa, Samudayo Hoti. Ayam Uchadi Bikawe Paticha Samupada. So in this way, there is a cause origin for the whole mass of suffering. Please say all monks dependent origination. So here, when we're talking about this word, whole mass of suffering, what is the meaning of whole mass of suffering according to this word? It means that this five aggregate is something that not mixed with sukha. It's only dukkha only. The whole 12 links is only dukkha. Yes, Brother Ko, you want to ask something?
Yes. This old age, what if for example, those who did not live to old age and pass away, because death is definite, but old age is probably not certain, no? Because there are many people
Right. Yes.
pass away.
So we are talking about this is in terms of normal things that old age that happen to people. Even aging is happen to most people, right?
Aging, okay.
Yeah, right.
Young also
Yes.
age, right? When young people also they start to
Right.
age.
Yes. You're talking about those who sudden death, right? Sudden death.
Yes.
All these are we call it the
Possibilities.
possibility or extraordinary case, right?
Okay.
Because normally, let's say people like now we say human life is 100 years. Most people are supposed to live up to 100 years, but how many? How many
In
now?
fact,
Yeah.
In fact, if you look at it, including starvation and all those, majority may not actually live to old age.
Yeah. So this is just we call it the logically what will happen to beings, like even like just now Soka, Paridewa, Dukkha, Domanassa, sorrow, lamentation, it will not happen to Brahma, but it happened to most human beings, right? So all these are possible. So dependent origination, we are talking about something that might happen to most people or most beings. Of course, there are certain exceptions. Like here, you cannot see Arahant here. Arahant will not have all these, like Arahant will be out of this samsara already. Okay.
Then what about Rupa beings? Rupa beings also no soka and
Rupa beings, they don't have soka. Yeah, those Brahma most likely they don't have. Because Brahma they don't have much sensual pleasure, so they don't have so much soka like human being or animal. Yeah. So that's why Jara Marana is only shown here. Do you notice that Jara Marana? There's no Soka, Paridewa, Dukkha, Domanassa. It's not shown here.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So anyway, so when you study, you just have to study from Avijja Pachaya. This is another one you can see that also Avijja, because this is talking about the 20 factors here. So we start from this one. Okay, Avijja Pachaya Sankhara. Sankhara Pacha Vijnana, Vijnana Pacha Nama Rupa, Nama Baya Salayatana, they pass over there. So you just have to memorize the Pali. All right. And then when you recite, so what's the purpose of doing the chanting? So it's for us to contemplate the Dhamma. So when you recite, it's like, oh, why do I need to start with Avijja? And why is it the final one will be Soka, Paridewa, Dukkha, Domanassa, Supayasa, Samavati, Okay. Okay, so if no question, I think is Any question? Some more? All right, so maybe you all join me in chanting again. So it's good to revise the chanting for you all to fulfill our parami also, you know. Okay, so everybody please join me in chanting. All right. Okay, avijja pachaya sankhara, sankhara pachaya
Pachaya
vijnanam,
Vijnana
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 pachaya
Pachaya
nama
Nama
rupa,
Rupa
nama rupa
Nama
pachaya
Rupa Pachaya
salayatanam,
Salayatanam
salayatanam pachaya
Salayatanam
pasu,
Pachaya Pasu
phasa pachaya
Asa
vedana,
Pachaya Vaidana
vedana pachaya
Vedana
tanha,
Pachaya Tangha
tanha pachaya
Tangha Pachaya
upadanam,
Upadanam
upadana pachaya
Upadanam Pachaya
bhavo,
Bhavu
bhava pachaya
Pachaya
jati,
Jati
jati
Yati
pachaya jara
Pachaya Jara
maranam,
Maranam
sokha
Sukha
parideva,
Parideva
dukha domana
Dukkha
supayasa,
Domanasa Supayasa
bhavanti,
Sopavanti
eva mitasa,
Eva Metasa
kevalasa,
Kavalasa
dukha
Dukkha
khandasa,
Kandasa
samudaya
Samudayo
hoti,
Hoti
ayam uchati
Ayam
bhikkhave,
Buchati
patisa
Bhikkhave
samuppada,
Pati
samupado.
Samupado
Okay, so we recite the Patiloma. Avijjaya
Avijjaya
deva
Deva
asesa
Asesa
viraga nirodha,
Niroda
sankhara
Sankara
nirodho,
Nirodo
sankhara
Sankara
nirodha,
Niroda
vijnana
Vijnana
nirodho,
Virodo
vijnana
Vijnana
nirodha,
Viroda
nama
Nama
rupa
Rupa
nirodho, nama rupa
Nama Rupa
nirodha,
Niroda
salayatana
Salayatana
nirodho,
Nirodo
salayatana
Salayatana
nirodha,
Niroda
phasa
Pasa
nirodho,
Nirodo
Hasa
Pasa
niroda, vedana
Niroda Vedana
nirodho,
Nirodo
vedana
Vedana
niroda,
Niroda
tanha
Tangha
nirodho,
Nirodo
tanha
Tangha
niroda,
Niroda
upadana
Upadana
nirodho,
Nirodo
upadana
Upadana
niroda,
Niroda Bhava Nirodo
nirodho,
Bhava
bhava
Niroda
niroda, jati nirodho,
Jati Nirodo
jati
Jati
niroda,
Niroda
Jara
Jara Maranam
marana, sokha
Sukha
parideva,
Parideva
dukha
Dukkha Domanasa
domanasupayasa,
Supayasa
nirujanti.
Nirujanti
Ewa metasa,
Ivametasa
kevalasa,
Kevalasa
dukha
Dukkha
kandasa,
Kandasa
nirodo
Nirodo Hoti
hoti. Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu.
Okay, so before we stop, so want to ask you all want to continue next